Hi, I'm Nova, and I just got out of the shower. So this is going to be my favorite books of 2015. I didn't read as much as I hoped to, and I actually don't remember how many books I read this year. I had a lot of school and reading for school, and just so many other things happened this year that I don't actually remember how much I've read. So these are my favorites from the ones that I remember that I actually read this year. The first one is Paper Towns by John Green. I didn't really know what to think of this at first. I had read The Fault in Our Stars and then Looking for Alaska and Abundance of Catherines, and I picked this one up and I kind of looked at the back and I was like, alright, let's see how this goes, and I fell in love with it. Now all I want to do when I look at this book is I want to go on a road trip, grab a bunch of friends and just go. And then I watch the movie and just road trip. I have to go on a road trip next year. It is guaranteed. I'm just grabbing a bunch of people. We're just gonna go. Next, I have The Raft by S.A. Bodeen? Something. So this one I actually got at the beginning of the year and I read it. And I read this in an hour. I went right through it and it was really good. It was more than I was expecting when I opened the package and I saw this. I honestly just kind of did a but I read it and it was really good and I could not put it down and I just went right through. It hit a lot of emotions, this book. I love it. Next on my list is Dr. Bird's Advice for Sad Poets. I honestly thought this said it was Dr. Bird's Advice for Sad Pets when I picked it up in the bookstore. And it didn't really make sense when I read the back and kind of flipped through it. And then when I got home, I realized it said poets. I'm like, well, that makes more sense. And the wording is just like you're reading a poem, but a story that is a poem. It's just, that didn't make a lot of sense. The wording is just poetic. And it's like you're reading a poem, but it's a novel. And it's beautiful. And I'm not a big fan of poetry, but this was just amazing. I definitely recommend this book to people. It's gorgeous and you definitely should pick it up. The fourth book on my favorites is My Life with the Walter Boys by Ali Novak. My friend told me about this book and I had seen it in the bookstore and it looked good, and so I was talking to her about it and she's like, you have to read it, I'll lend you my Kindle. And I'm sorry, this plant is right in the way, but it doesn't have another place. I'm not an ebook person. Wow, I can't talk. I'm not an ebook person at all. And yes, I have a band-aid on my hand. I have a spot that's, ouch. I'm not an ebook person at all. I have to have a hard copy. People would pull out a Kindle and start reading, and I'm just like, no. She was gonna lend me her Kindle to read this. I was like, I appreciate the gesture, but I'm a hard copy person, and that's just a turn off. I don't want to read a book if it's in the ebook. And so I read this book, and it was just so good and so well written, and I just fell in love with it. I wish it didn't end. It's one of these books where you just wish that it did not end. I love it, and I want to read it again, but I have so many other books on my shelves that I need to read before I can reread anything, because And the last one on my list is Sinner by Maggie Stiefvater. I adore the Shiver trilogy, and then I learned that she came out with this one, and I had to get a copy. I walked into the store, I pointed to it, I said, Mom, I'm walking out with this, and I'm not leaving until it's in my hands. And so I picked it up, and it took me a while to read it because I was in college. Everything was just piling up at that time. But I read it and I love it. I kind of miss Sam and Grace from the first three, but the focus on Cole and Isabel is just beautiful. And honestly, the first three was pretty much the end, and then she came out with this one, but honestly, if she kept coming out with these books, I would continue to read them till the end of the earth. Honestly, they are just gorgeous books, so beautifully written, and I'm dying to read some of her other stuff because she is just an amazing writer. That is it for my favorites of 2015. I'm hoping to do a Christmas haul, but right now all I have is just a bunch of clothes and then like 2 books and 2 mugs. So I probably won't do it. I mean, I still have some gifts coming, but I might just like pull up the books and be like, hey, this is a book I got for Christmas. So that one might not be happening anymore. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see how it goes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!